Yeah, it's an incident that I don't really like to go back to it because I need to, clean it out of my system.
Of course.
But yeah, it is what you saw on the media. We were kidnapped, me and my driver. October 2022, we were just about to enter the gate, and there were people who were acting as police officers.
Well, hello, Lead Podcast family, and welcome to yet another installment of the Lead Podcast with me, Solomon Manyaga. We are passionate about bringing you leadership par excellence, and today is no exception. I'm very privileged to bring to you someone who is definitely an expert in clean governance, and I'm very privileged to introduce her to you today. Welcome to the Lead Podcast, Mrs. Margaret Skosana.
Greetings and thank you for inviting me.
We appreciate having you on this platform. And as I said, we are very, very passionate about leadership. And we've been watching some of the wonderful things that you've been doing in the field of governance. But before we dive into that, perhaps you can just give us a background of Margaret Skosana, the person, how you started, where you grew up.
Okay, I was born in Dr. J.S. Moroka local municipality in Siabuswa. It is one of the local municipalities within Nkangala District Municipality. And I studied there until grade 12. I matriculated in 1997 in a school called Kwadebele Science School. Yes, and it's one of the schools that has performed well this year. They've achieved 98%. I'm proud of that because
congratulations to them.
I also adopted that school. I'm providing study guides for them on an annual basis.
Beautiful.
So I'm happy with that. And then I went to a technical in Northern Gauteng.
Yeah.
I did civil engineering there. Yeah, I graduated in 2001. I had national diploma in civil engineering, and I was also awarded the best civil engineering student, by the way, for that cohort of ours that started in 1998. I then did a BTech with Pretoria Technikon.
Yeah.
Now it's called TU2 because they've amalgamated them.
Yeah.
I did BTech in transportation in planning, which is one of the BTechs under civil engineering.
Yeah.
Then I proceeded and did a BSc Honours in civil engineering with University of Pretoria. Yeah, along the route, I also did quite a number of certificates.
Yeah.
Just to try and strengthen my skills. And yeah, the highest qualification that I'm sitting with now is a Master's in Business Administration, which I acquired 2018.
Incredible.
Yes.
And do you have any plans for further study, perhaps?
Well, I do. I just need a courage and time to pursue the PhD, but I did apply and I was given that I should submit the topic and go through the ethical clearance, but I haven't done that yet.
Incredible. I think that's quite an impeccable set of credentials there. For those of you who are watching, I think we definitely have someone who's very educated, someone who's really gone through the paces, Can you just give some advice to some people who are interested in going the same route? How do they manage their studies? Is there anything that you can say to motivate them to go the whole academic course?
Yeah, well, what I always say to people is that when time has been given to you to study, maximize, don't waste time. Yeah. Because you'll never know. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
I always motivate people like that, and I also say people need to ensure that education, they can take away everything from you, but they can't take away your education because it is attached to you.
Of course.
So which is one of the key investment that you can make for yourself.
So then I know that, everybody, they say, you know, as you rise, you lift people up. So you went through school and you definitely had a very, very stellar school experience with the accomplishments that you've attained so far. Tell me about some of the people who had a definitive impact on the person that you are today, who helped you to become the person that you are.
Yeah, the people that have assisted me a lot, I think democracy has also assisted. We are that generation that completed school when, we just entered into democracy. So companies were sort of like compelled to ensure that there is black people in their companies, to ensure that there's transformation. So I wish to thank the company that gave us that opportunity and appointed us to do the training. It was quite a good company. It was called BKS, but it's now called ACOM. So, and I had a very good director there who exposed us to the industry. I was one of the team members. I hope you know Nelson Mandela Bridge in Johannesburg. I'm one of the team, the design team that has designed that bridge, and it's something that I pride myself with it. I was given that opportunity by this company. Then the other people that really assisted me is when I left private sector to join a local government. I had already had an accident. I was already on a wheelchair. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for people to acknowledge and appoint a person who is disabled. But I was fortunate to have an at that time. It was John Langa Kabini, who was the municipal manager for Elias Motsoaledi, who saw the the brains in me and decided that he's going to give me the opportunity to be the PMU manager. And then from there, the sky was the limit.
So, I'm glad that you touched on the issue of your disability. I want you to just maybe expand for us what some of the challenges that you went through as someone who's living with a disability and how that's shaped you to become the person that you are today.
I still need to indicate that people living with disabilities, they still experience challenges even to this day. I experienced quite a number of challenges. The first one that I can indicate is when I went for the interviews in Elias Motsoaledi for the position of PMU manager, the director that I was going to report under felt I'll be a liability to the municipality if I'm appointed, because I will need a special car and I will not be able to do site inspections. And part of my key responsibilities was to monitor the projects that we were doing there. But we thank the likes of the former John Langa Kabini, because he insisted and said the democracy allows us to integrate and also work with people with disability. And he gave me that opportunity. And the other experience that was bad is when I was doing my BSc Honours at UP. The classes that they have allocated to us was 2 floors down. So my husband, who was the boyfriend at that time, had to bring me in the morning, take me down because there were no lifts, and come during lunchtime. Fortunately, I was working in Pretoria. Come during lunchtime, pick me up for me to go eat and freshen up, then take me back down and make sure that by the time classes ends at 5, he's there to take me up again. It was a serious struggle, but I had so much resilience that I need this qualification that I had to live with that. Fortunately, it was only for 1 semester. The next semester, we had to go and complain so that they change classes and make sure that they allocate me to a class that is on the ground floor. So you see, it's a challenge. Even now, when you go to government complex, the one that we have just recently built in Mpumalanga, go there, you will see that there's so much inaccessibility. The ramps that are done there, they are wrong.
Yeah.
There are no disabled toilets. It's only on the basement. So there is still quite a number of challenges that we need to deal with with regards to people with disabilities.
But I'm happy that we've got someone such as yourself who's in the civil engineering space, because I can imagine when you're planning building certain structures, having someone such as yourself, you'd be able to provide some valuable input into how these are constructed in such a way that they are wheelchair friendly.
Yeah.
So I think that's a beautiful thing, and I know it was quite bad back in the day, but to their defense, I think that there's definitely been an improvement. I see a lot, especially when you go to the shops, to the malls. They've companies and malls, and they've actually expanded more into building ramps for people who are living with disabilities, so that they can at least use those ramps to enter the centers. So it might be that the pace of change might be slow, but it's definitely coming along.
I agree with you, but what also assisted it was the influence that the association, Disability Association, influenced government to ensure that this is stipulated in the building regulations.
Yeah.
So it's not like it is by choice. A mall is a public area. So if you're building any public institution or public place, you need to ensure that you align with the building regulations.
Now, Mayor, municipal manager, maybe I'm prophesying into your future life.
No,
as
I
a
don't
mayor.
want to be the mayor.
But you definitely seem to be very mayoral. Maybe it's no accident that I call you a mayor, considering especially the fact that you are such an award-winning person. We'll definitely come back to this. But MM, I want to just tap into your current role now as the municipal manager of this district municipality. Walk us through a typical day in the life of the municipal manager of this district municipality.
Yeah, I think district municipalities are even it's much better. Yes, there's a lot of pressure, but it is not as intense as working for a local municipality. I worked for a local municipality as an MM in 2012, and I was still like 31 years old. Imagine. There it was quite high because you deal on daily basis with community members. So you start doing your actual work after 4. In the district environment, it's a bit better. We still have walk-ins, but it is not as intense as a local municipality. So you do have some time and space where you are able to do your work. So on daily basis, we deal with quite a number of things as a municipalities. I know that the community perception out there is that municipalities, people are not working there. It's not all municipalities. Some of the municipalities, we work very hard. So as a district, remember, we are here to support our 6 local municipalities. So from time to time, we give advices to the local municipalities. Even when we see a wrong act, let's say the municipality has advertised something, we see it flighting on the social media, it is our responsibility to call and say, but this, you have not done it right. Please do the correction. And we also deal with political leadership. We still get complaints, and our communities, some of them, they don't understand the difference between a district municipality and a local municipality. Recently, somebody hit a pothole in Tembisilehani local municipality and sent a claim to the district and say, my car was damaged. I'm suing you for 300,000. So we are faced with such things on daily basis. And what we also deal with is to ensure that we focus on the implementation of the strategic objectives of the district. So we've got an annual plan, which we call it Service Delivery and Budget Implementation Plan. So on a daily basis, our focus should be whatever that we do at the end, it should be for us to achieve the targets that we've set for ourselves for a particular financial year.
That's very impressive. Now, I know that you have had private sector experience and also experience in the public sector. Can you just draw some parallels, maybe tell us how different the similarities and also the differences for you?
Yeah, I think public sector, the biggest challenge that I see when you compare with private sector, there is a lot of red tape that was done. There's too much bureaucracy for you to do your work and get things done in the public space.
Yeah.
While in private sector, probably the approvals becomes quicker because it's private. You are not accounting to anyone, why did you procure like this?
Yeah.
Public sector, we have created a lot of red tapes, and those red tapes, they slow down service delivery somehow. And we continue to do so because the public out there perceives public sector as the most corrupt, and they demand that government must ensure that they put enough systems to try and keep corruption. But the unintended consequences of that is that then it delays service delivery that we can issue to our communities out there. That's the difference that I see. That's why you will see private sector seems to be more effective than public sector. It is because of those two differences in terms of how you do your work. Yeah. I love working for local government because that's when you see the impact that you make to people directly. It sort of satisfies your heart to see the impact that you have made in someone's life.
Communities being changed.
Yes. While in private sector, you do your work, you don't see the impact. Yes, somehow when you build a bridge, you're building for the community. But because you don't have that close interface with the community, you sort of like don't, take it to heart. While here in this space, you will go and open that project, you see how excited people are that now at least they've got water they did not have, and that fulfills me.
I can imagine though, because I think with a profit-driven company, it's more about meeting the target so that you can make money. But with governance, it's more the humane aspect. When you build that bridge, you're not building to make money out of it, but you really want to see people's lives change. So I can understand where you're coming from with the culture shift. The profit motive will obviously drive business, and it will force them to also be more efficient in their ways of doing things. But the burden of, or the responsibility rather, of accountability is what gives you all this red tape. But my other question, would then be, for the benefit of our viewers, can you just give us a walkthrough of what Nkangala District Municipality is in terms of its jurisdiction, which municipalities fall under that? And also, while we're on that as well, I saw on your website you speak about the municipality being a Category C municipality. So please expand on those 2 points.
Okay, no, thank you. Category C municipalities are district municipalities.
Okay.
We are all classified as district municipalities. We are classified as Category C municipalities. I think it's categories that have just been set to distinguish between local municipalities, district municipalities, metros. And we've got those district municipalities that have got district management areas. So they fall under then a different category from us. As a Nkangala, we do not have any district management area. We've got 6 local municipalities under us, which is your Dr. J.S. Moroka, Malahleni, Makazeni, Victor Kanye, Steve Chwete, and Tembisile Hani. The district covers more than 16,000 square kilometers in terms of the coverage of the district, and we have population of more than 1.4 million. Currently based on the latest stats. And more than 60% of our population is actually youth. That's another
impressive.
Thing. Hence, it's not impressive. Hence the challenge.
Well, people are alive. There's young
with
people,
the high youth unemployment that actually puts more pressures on us to come up with programs that should address youth unemployment. So, and our responsibilities as the district, we exist to assist our local municipalities, like I said earlier, capacity building of our local municipalities, whether technical or infrastructural, meaning we assist them with technical knowledge, human resource capacity, We also assist with building projects for them and hand them over to them for them to operate and maintain. Yeah.
I know in the media there was one that just happened where the president was involved. I believe there was an unveiling of a bridge that was built, correct me if I'm wrong, somewhere around Tembisilehane, excuse me, Tembisilehane municipality. But I'm glad that you also touched on the issue of youth unemployment, because on your very same website it speaks about how only 34% of residents of this district municipality actually have a matric. So that is very concerning, and I really hope that there are interventions in place to deal with the high unemployment, youth unemployment rate, but also perhaps the high level of illiteracy. But I say that also with a pinch of salt, because I know that we are quite a technical municipality. You know, there's technical schools, so we've got a strong mining background in most parts of this district municipality. But perhaps you can also just expand on us, or expand on some of the highlights of your State of the District address, some of the key interventions or the key plans that you have for this financial year.
Yeah, the key interventions that we have as a district, actually they are there on our DDM plan. I hope you also had time to look into it on the anchor projects that we are proposing. One of the key projects that we are proposing is for us to build a fire academy. We don't have a fire academy in the entire province. When we send kids to be firefighters for training for firefighting, we need to take them to Johannesburg or to private institutes. So we saw this as an opportunity, because all municipalities, the issue of fire and rescue services is part of our responsibility. So we said, why don't we open a school where we train internal and we train even provincial firefighters. And this will be sort of like a more of a revenue generating project for the district, which we need that because the district budgets are starting to diminish. The other major project that we are doing, I'm sure we all know about it. It's a Loskop Dam project, which is about 1.8 billion project. It aims to give communities of Limpopo as well as Tembisile water. We are taking 20 megaliters from Loskop Dam to Tembisile. We know that Tembisile has got a serious challenge that affects Tembisile. It's a shortage of water. So those are one of the projects that we are embarking on. We are also excited that the Premier of the province has announced that we, as a province, we will be opening a mining school, which we hope we are the one with more mines than the other two districts. We are really hoping that such school should be built within Nkangala District. The other major game changer that we brought, though we have not yet seen the results, is the establishment of the Nkangala Economic Development Agency, which we are hopeful that it will assist a great deal to stimulate the economic growth of the district. We've already assigned 2 projects for them. The first one is the brick manufacturing plant that we need to resuscitate it. That is in Emakazeni local municipality, with the aim that the direction that the government has taken of Mpumalanga, that now the roads that we do, it should be paving roads. So we are aiming that the municipalities will then be procuring from that big brick manufacturing plant. And brick manufacturing plant, it's a good project because it is more labor intensive. So we've got an opportunity to attract more labor for us, and that will assist in dealing with unemployment. The other project that we also gave to NIDA, it was the manufacturing of the chemical plants. We advised the political leadership to say, as municipalities, we're purifying water, we're using chemicals, we clean the wastewater treatment works, we're using chemicals. But where do we get those chemicals from? There are only 3 companies in the country that does chemicals, and we take them as far as Durban. So we said, why don't we take this opportunity? We already have clients. Clients will be our local municipalities that should then support NIDA, so that NIDA, as NIDA is able to generate income for the district, NIDA will be able to then explore on more opportunities within the district that will assist to grow the economy and to also deal with job creations.
Yeah.
And to also, because we want NIDA to be strong on supporting the SMMEs, because that's the area where we see that job creation will be, because big companies that are established, they've already, you know, reached the saturation point. But SMME, they've got an opportunity to grow and create more employment.
Impressive, Mayor. I sincerely hope that we'll see some of these projects coming to fruition in the near future.
Yes.
But equally concerning as well is various reports that have been coming out about how, you know, for instance, we are supported by a very strong coal industry, and it has been classified as a sunset industry, so it's coming to an end. And there's a lot of talk already now about how our municipalities, for instance, Emalahleni and Steve Tshwete, and to some extent as well, Emakhazeni, which are mining towns, will start becoming ghost towns. And that will obviously result in a lot of people leaving for better opportunities. So that is a very concerning thing, especially when you look at, for instance, you juxtapose what is happening with Kimberley and Johannesburg. You know, Kimberley was built on mines, diamond mining. And then on the other end of the scale, Johannesburg was also built on gold mining, but Kimberley did not industrialize. Johannesburg industrialized, and that's why it's the, you know, the economic powerhouse it is right now.
Yeah.
So, you know, what are the plans, perhaps, or the initiatives that the municipality is looking at to make sure that we transform from just being a coal-dependent society to being one that's really vibrant in other economies?
Yeah, no, thank you so much. Before I answer as to the strategies that we're putting in place, we need to also indicate that the fastness of decommissioning of the power stations, we sort of objected to it as the district municipality, because what they have done with Komati, but we are happy, the Presidential Climate Change Commission, they have accepted the errors that they have done with that we did not do well, and hence you see the next power stations that were supposed to be decommissioned, now there's a halt on that, because we felt
the just energy transition wasn't just.
No, it wasn't just at all. And we had to raise our voices very hard. And we're happy that there's a halt and the process will be taken slow. But what we need to do, what we have done actually, is that there is an industrialization plan that we've already developed. And we are saying, with this just energy transition, for instance, as much as we're moving to cleaner green energy, we support that we need to move towards green energy. Because we can't continue to pollute, because pollution has got a lot of effects on humans. But what we are saying is that we should look into all these proposed green energy projects. We should be the one that manufactures. Why should we take solar panels from China? For instance, if we could do it. We've got the minerals here. It's just that we take them raw as they are, and then we take them to China, and then China brings it back as a solar panel. So there is a plan, and the plan is actually provincial. It's just we need to have strength and political drive to implement this industrialization plan. The other thing that we are also looking at strongly, it's manufacturing. And I sponsored that in our provincial meetings to say, I don't understand, why don't we take advantage of the money that we have within the province and push to grow the manufacturing. What do I mean by that? For instance, we've got people that are doing pumps. We take them, we still buy pumps from China. We've got industries in Joburg where we take, we buy these pumps, but we buy them there, we bring them here in the province to implement our project. We've got a power to decide that our tender documents should change and say materials, you should source them within the district first and prove that there is no manufacturer within the district before you can go out. You make it your tender condition. In that way, we are going to strengthen and fast track growing of the manufacturing industry, because that's where we should go for us to be able to sustain these employments that we are having.
I sincerely also hope that, you know, that plan will materialize in the near future as well, because the other problem that is fast becoming a crisis issue is the issue of urban-rural migration, or rural-urban migration, where we are seeing a lot of people moving out of the rural areas and moving into urban areas. And I think one of the solutions would be rural development. And I know it is a priority of government, but you find, for instance, it comes back to bite us in terms of, for instance, the RDP issue, where people would come in from a rural area and they'd come and stay in, for instance, this city. And then they'd apply for an RDP house, and then they would leave that house and get, or wherever, let's call it, if they built a shack, they would leave that shack and move to the RDP house. But what would they do? They would then take somebody else from the rurals and put them in there. So what I'm trying to say is that this is a problem that will never stop unless there is some sort of rural development. So I sincerely hope that a lot of this industrialization is also happening in areas like Tembisile-Hani, in areas like Dr. J.S. Moroka, you know, so that we can do something to alleviate that migration.
Now, that's very true. For instance, the manufacturing plant that we want to do for the chemicals, we have opted to use Tembisile-Hani. We will not be investing here in Steve Tshwete, because Steve Tshwete is sort of like a bit stable. And for Dr. J.S. Moroka, you would know that there's a big project that was done, unfortunately still under investigation, that project, because of alleged misuse of funds, which is a fresh produce market, which has been built there in Dr. J.S. Moroka. So rural areas like Dr. Moroka and Tembisile, we should look into more on the agricultural side. What is it that we should do to stimulate the economy of those two municipalities?
Awesome. So, you have received 9 consecutive clean audits, which is something that is absolutely commendable. I think you are definitely doing exceptionally well in terms of your governance and your administration of this municipality. This is in the backdrop of widespread adverse findings delivered by the Auditor General on other municipalities. So can you please tell us what your secret is? What is your secret sauce? And how do you think municipalities can align themselves to become much better in terms of, you know, how they handle their books and, you know, good governance, basically?
Yeah, I think I will not take the credit alone. It takes a team effort to achieve clean audit. So this clean audit, it's owned by everyone that is working in the municipality. So first and foremost, you need to ensure that you've got a good team, capable team. When I got here in 2014, I found the CFO that we have currently. And when her contract ended, there were temptations to say, yeah, but she has served for long, can we give others an opportunity? But because I work with my team and I do the assessment of my colleagues, I know their strengths and weaknesses. I had to fight and say, the CFO needs to come back. We need to give the contract back to the CFO. So I'm saying that to show that you need a strong management team for you to be able to achieve this. Secondly, you need to understand how the AG audits you. What is the AG? What does the AG looks at to say you have received an unqualified with no matters? And you need to focus on that. Look at your weaknesses on the report that the AG is giving you, and come up with strategic measures to put up control measures that will close those gaps that you are having. The other thing is that you need to continuously promote ethical behavior within the institution, so that colleagues know that they need to behave ethically for us to be able to sustain this.
Yeah.
I'm saying so because there could be things, there are a lot of transactions that are being done without them coming to the office of the MM because they've been delegated to the departments. But if you've got unethical managers there, they can mess you up as the accounting office. The other thing is that you need to ensure that you've got good quality assurance. Quality assurance, it's your structures like your MPEC, it's your structures like your internal audit, your audit committee. Audit committee, make sure that you appoint capable people who are going to really be honest with you and critique you where you are not doing well, because those are your eyes, you know, and they're able to see the blind spot where you are not seeing. So what we did is we ensured that our quality assurance teams, they are quite strong, they are strengthened, and they are capacitated, and they are given that power. Hence, you will see that the internal audit, the performance management unit, risk management unit, they report directly to the office of the MM. I moved them from those other departments so that they're given that power to ensure that whatever that they indicate that are errors, colleagues, when they communicate to the departments ensures that they implement. And I always make sure that I protect them as the accounting officer so that it strengthens their role that they play in the institution. And if you can address those things, it should be easy for any municipality to receive clean audit.
Very comprehensive response, MM. You know, you've been in governance now, especially in this district municipality, for well over a decade now. What are the plans for the future? I'm sure you have one eye on the future already. Being here, you're probably part of the furniture too much now, and you're looking for
Yes, I am part of the furniture.
Are you looking for opportunities? What's going on? What's the future looking like?
Yes, I do. Let's watch this space.
Because I think you've kind of overstayed your welcome.
I did.
And it's not a bad thing you've been achieving, but I feel like your talents could be best utilized in another sphere of government.
Actually, this Friday I will be turning 11 years in this institution. So you are quite correct. The dancer should know when to leave the stage.
That's a nice analogy. So then, I want to make things a bit personal now by asking you a very, very unsettling question, but it's worth asking. It's well known, it's much publicized.
Drink water.
In the media about the kidnapping event that happened not so long ago, just outside the gates of this municipality, if media reports are to be believed. Can you just walk us through that situation, please?
Yeah, it's an incident that I don't really like to go back to it because I need to, you know, clean it out of my system.
Of course.
But yeah, it is what you saw on the media. We were kidnapped, me and my driver. October 2022, we were just about to enter the gate, and there were people who were acting as police officers. They were wearing a uniform, police uniform. Yeah, and they stopped us, and they were indicating that actually they were here to arrest me for corruption. But then they don't want to embarrass me in front of my employees. I must step aside. So I actually refused and said, no, go in. I mean, if I'm arrested, it will eventually be known. And yeah, we had a lot of altercation there at the gate, if you saw that video. Then, yeah, one of them decided to jump out of the car and get into our car with a gun, and then instructed us to move away from the gate. We moved away from the gate, and they then exchanged. They instructed my driver to move out of the car, and one of them started driving. So, yeah, we were kidnapped. We were taken to the first house. I don't know where it is. And later in the evening, we were taken to the second house, and we were kept there for, I think it was 7 days.
And there was obviously a ransom that was put out there.
I don't want to talk about that.
No, understandable. Well, it's unfortunate that happened to you, but I think the media also documents quite well recent cases of other people getting kidnapped
Yeah.
So it definitely is becoming a trend, a very worrying one at that. But we are just happy that you are safe and sound and that it's all over. I'm pretty sure your security has been bumped up and you definitely are more cautious of your surroundings as a result of that.
Yeah, true. Unfortunately, this type of incidents, they even make you to be more naive, you know. I'm more of a home person now than an outgoing person.
Yeah.
Because you just feel comfortable sitting in restaurants. You're wondering who is watching and all that. That's the thing. And it also affects your family because you are now more stricter to your kids. I don't even allow them to go out with friends and all that because you'd never know what could happen. It's a bad thing. I think crime in South Africa is quite bad. We've got a lot of killings, especially here in Nkangala District now. There are a lot of killings in the district area, but we are hopeful that the law enforcement is seeing this and the security cluster is seeing this and it will be attended to.
Indeed. Now, you talked about you at home. I'd like to say Maggie at home. Please tell us, outside of the weight of the office of being the municipal manager of this institution, who is Maggie when she's at home?
Maggie is a mom of 4 kids, 1 boy, 3 girls. And Maggie is a wife. That's Maggie at home.
And then, there's always a young person out there who's watching you, who is motivated by your story, who's watching you going through your education journey, going through all the different things that you've encountered in your life, and they see you as a role model. And this is what the Lead podcast is all about. We want to inspire. As our name suggests, it's lead, empower, and develop. And by bringing you here as a leader, we know that you've empowered people. What do you have to say to the young Maggie who's watching this podcast right now? What would you say to her? All right, so I'm so happy that we have someone of your caliber here, an award-winning municipal manager who is, by the looks of what I'm seeing around your office, who's cleaned up so many awards. And this is awesome because the Lead podcast is all about, as the name suggests, lead, empower, and develop. So as we say lead, it's an acronym for lead, empower, and develop. And we bring someone of your caliber here as a leader to empower and develop the next generation of leaders. What would you say to the young Maggie, the young Margaret Skosana out there? How would you inspire her in her journey to become the next leader of tomorrow?
Yeah. What I can say to the young Maggie out there who is inspired, I would firstly say there are you can't cut corners if you want to achieve what has been achieved. So you need to get it right. Firstly, you need to ensure that you educate yourself. Like I said earlier, that education is one of the key things. And once you have education, you don't actually need connections to get employment. You can use your education to really demonstrate your skills and get opportunities out there. Secondly is that when you are given the opportunity, do not waste time. Make sure that you strive to excel. I don't think I was not politically connected when I was appointed in municipalities. I went there and demonstrated my skills. And somebody out there saw the skills that I have. And when I was given that opportunity, I made sure that there should be something impactful that I do as Margaret, so that when I leave that institution, I can say, this is what I have done. So make sure that given an opportunity, maximize ensuring that you leave a dent. There should be an impact. It should be seen that you were there. And the other thing that I also say to people is that let's try and brighten the corners where we are. I try my level best to do that wherever I am, I try to educate. If people give me the opportunity, I try and train. Nkangala District Municipality is full of young people,
Yeah.
the employees. And young people out there, they are known not to be working and all that.
Yeah.
But it's different in Nkangala. Young people here, they are working.
Yeah.
They are very energetic.
True.
They come up with innovations and so forth. And
Yeah.
that is assisting us. They are very professional, by the way, these young people. So we believe that we need these young people. As I said, that more than 60% of our population it's young, and this young generation, they are the future leaders out there. And the other thing that I would say to young people is that you need to focus. At times, young people, they are everywhere. And it's understandable at times, because when you are still young, you really don't know your passion, and you might find yourself running everywhere to try and find your passion. As you do that, ensure that every year there's something new that you are learning, and you empower yourself somehow. You can attend workshops, seminars. There are a lot of things that are out there now to skill people and to empower people to have more knowledge.
Fantastic. I hope you're listening out there. This is pearls of wisdom from someone who's walked the journey of leadership. But I just want to take you back, You know, you spoke about a school that you had adopted. That leads me to see you as someone who's very passionate about community development. And, you know, not so long ago, we were fortunate to interview a couple of gentlemen from the landlords. And they were basically all about empowering communities, and they've adopted some disability centers as well. Can you tell us how your district municipality is also collaborating with them, perhaps?
With the landlords?
Yes.
No, we have not done any collaborations with them as yet.
Yeah.
We did receive invitations. We are yet to understand what is the organization all about. And of course, if there's a possibility of future partnership to develop our communities out there, we will look into it.
Fantastic. You heard it from the horse's mouth. You know, with that being said, I just want to thank you. But before I close, we as the lead podcast as well, we're very passionate about leadership legacy. So we believe that your leadership should always speak for you beyond the grave. And we always ask our guests one simple question, you know, would you be available for an opportunity in the near future, obviously, where you would sit down and create some material that can educate people about, you know, the ins and outs of the industry that you're in, like a seminar format, but something that they can access online as a resource?
Yes, indeed, we are available for that.
Yeah.
But we also say there are a lot of articles now and the research that we have done. For instance, my MBA was based in local government. So the material is out there for people to look for it. They should visit the scholar websites. They will be able to also get, there are a number of local government practitioners now who are now doctors and all that. And their research, they are mostly based on local government. And as in Nkangala, I think on a monthly basis, we receive about more than 5 applications from people doing masters and doctorates to do research based on our municipalities. So, but we are open to seminars to give more information because indeed we need more practitioners in local government.
Well, thank you so much for coming to this platform. We appreciate this time with you. You are someone we've been watching from the sidelines, but we are happy that we got you on this platform so that we can see the person behind the awards, you know, but also Maggie at home as well, who you are outside of, you know, the weight of the office, as I always say. And it's a privilege to have sat down with you and to have had this discussion. Thank you so much for coming on board.
Thank you so much, and once more, thank you for inviting me.
With that being said, Lead Family, this is what we're all about. We bring them to you, we showcase them, we encourage you, we empower you, and we help you to develop into the next leader of tomorrow. And we will continue to do so yet again with yet another episode. So see you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.